Good morning. My name is Maureen Chung. Welcome to Daily Devotional of August the 5th. The Bible passage is Ruth chapter 2 verse 1 to 23, and the title is Kinsman-redeemer and divine providence. What is a kinsman-redeemer or a guardian redeemer? I can use a modern terminology, next of kin. When trouble comes, say an accident that requires serious medical intervention or a death occurs, the next of kin will be notified and called upon to make decision for the injured or deceased party. The next of kin is responsible for the welfare of the closest relative who is in distress and died. In modern times, we have insurance policies for many things, but in ancient times, the next of kin or the kinsman-redeemer was the insurance policy. This is written in Moses' law. Deuteronomy chapter 25 verse 5 to 6 explains, "If brothers are living together and one of them dies without a son, his widow must not marry outside the family. Her husband's brother shall take her and marry her and fulfill the duty of a brother-in-law to her. The first son she bears shall carry on the name of the dead brother, so that his name will not be blotted out from Israel." The system of economy Moses designed was based on family ownership of land. If someone died without an heir, his land would become untitled. To continue his bloodline and keep the inheritance within the family, his brother had the duty to marry his widow and produce for him an heir. Such was the duty of the kinsman-redeemer. If there was no surviving brother, the next closest cousin would be in line to marry the widow. Strange as it may seem to us now, but the understanding of this system is crucial to our understanding of the book of Ruth. This concept is transferable to Jesus Christ, our true kinsman-redeemer. Without his redemption, with his life on the cross, we are lost without our inheritance. We have no hope like the childless widow. But through Jesus Christ, our kinsman-redeemer, I have a home in heaven with him. I share in his rich inheritance. As we shall see, Ruth would become an ancestor of David and of Jesus Christ. The union of Boaz and Ruth, as we shall see, points to the redemptive work of Jesus Christ. Let's read through Ruth chapter 2 verse 1 to 23. Now Naomi had a relative on her husband's side, a man of standing from the clan of Elimelek, whose name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone in whose eyes I find favor." Naomi said to her, "Go ahead, my daughter." So she went out, entered a field, and began to glean behind the harvesters. As it turned out, she was working in a field belonging to Boaz, who was from the clan of Elimelek. Just then, Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted the harvesters. "The Lord be with you." "The Lord bless you," they answered. Boaz asked the overseer of his harvesters, "Who does that young woman belong to?" The overseer replied, "Oh, she is the Moabite who came back from Moab with Naomi. She said, 'Please let me glean and gather up among the sheaves behind the harvesters.' She came into the field and has remained here from morning till now, except for a short rest in the shelter." So Boaz said to Ruth, "My daughter, listen to me. Don't go and glean in another field and don't go away from here. Stay here with the women who work for me. Watch the field where the men are harvesting and follow along after the women. I have told the men not to lay a hand on you. And whenever you are thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars the men have filled." At this, she bowed down with her face to the ground. She asked him, "Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you notice me a foreigner," Boaz replied. "I've been told all about what you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband. How you left your father and mother and your homeland and came to live with the people you did not know before. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. May I continue to find favor in your eyes, my Lord," she said. "You have put me at ease by speaking kindly to your servant, though I do not have the standing of one of your servants." At mealtime, Boaz said to her, "Come over here, have some bread and dip it in the wine vinegar." When she sat down with the harvesters, he offered her some roasted grain. She ate all she wanted and had some left over. As she got up to glean, Boaz gave orders to his men. "Let her gather among the sheaves and don't reprimand her. Even pull out some stalks for her from the bundles and leave them for her to pick up, and don't rebuke her." So Ruth gleaned in the field until evening. Then she threshed the barley she had gathered, and it amounted to about an ephah, which is 22 litres. She carried it back to town, and her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. Ruth also brought out and gave her what she had left over after she had eaten enough. Her mother-in-law asked her, "Where did you glean today? Where did you work? Blessed be the man who took notice of you." Then Ruth told her mother-in-law about the one at whose place she had been working. "The name of the man I worked with today is Boaz," she said. "Oh, the Lord bless him," Naomi said to her daughter-in-law. "He has not stopped showing his kindness to the living and the dead." She added, "That man is our close relative. He is one of our guardian redeemers." Then Ruth the Moabite said, "He even said to me, 'Stay with my workers until they finish harvesting all my grain.'" Naomi said to Ruth, her daughter-in-law, "It will be good for you, my daughter, to go with the women who work for him, because in someone else's field you might be harmed." So Ruth stayed close to the women of Boaz to glean until the barley and wheat harvests were finished. And she lived with her mother-in-law. Divine providence is clearly depicted in this chapter. Of all barley fields, Ruth ended up in a field that belonged to Boaz, who was from the clan of Elimelek, Naomi's husband. Naomi was the first to notice, saying, "That man is our close relative. He is one of our guardian redeemers." Verse 20. God is in control of the events around us. Moreover, Boaz was a man of honor and integrity. He treated his harvesters and his female workers with respect. He was kind to Ruth as he invited her to pick up loose leftover barley stalks on the field. He did more than Moses' laws required. He told his men to leave more stalks of barley unbundled so that Ruth could gather more to take home. He invited Ruth to share the food and water provided for his workers. He ordered his men to respect and protect Ruth. He praised Ruth personally for her devotion to Naomi and her courage to come to Israel to take refuge. His kindness reflected his God-fearing piety. He would be the ideal kinsman-redeemer for Ruth and Naomi. I'm amazed at how God works in all things for the good of those who love him. Romans chapter 8:28 says that. Two widows, Naomi and Ruth, came back to Bethlehem without means of support. They were poor and destitute, yet God provided them with daily food, albeit gleaned from someone's field. That was more than enough. I have seen widows lovingly supported by God's family. I know that we lack nothing because God provides. God's grace is sufficient. So let us count our blessings often and give thanks to Him. God is our refuge. Thank you for joining me, and may God bless you. See you tomorrow. Please like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get new video updates. Thank you.